Well, welcome to the channel, viewers. Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, Central Coast, New South Wales. Thank you for joining me. We live in a time where it says, in the end, people will be lovers of themselves, and the love of many will grow cold. Pretty heavy, isn't it? Lovers of themselves and the love of many will grow cold. I've found myself in several situations now where I've split up with people, and my therapy has been to check whether that was legitimate or whether I was just being cruel, what the nature of the breakups was, why did it happen. Because it's not something that you don't want to be investing your time into people and then everything crashing to the ground. But this seems to be becoming more prolific all the time. So the Bible says that the love of many will grow cold, and that people will be lovers of themselves. Based on what? What's it based on? Well, it's based on the way people perform in their intimate relationships in one element of that. And it just appears that more and more people are failing for one reason or other, probably due to not doing the work that's required for the relationship to work. Not doing the work that's required for the relationship to work. That's what appears to be the problem. When people are getting into relationships, they know how to present themselves covertly, and then all of a sudden these people, after they've chameleonized themselves, are changing and becoming difficult, really difficult. I've seen some tremendous and emotional incestual enmeshment situations in a couple of mine, just horrific. And there's not much you can do about it once it manifests. I've tried tolerance, I've tried working in with these people, but it really isn't healthy in any way, shape or form to try and do that. I gained nothing. All I gained was a loss of time. When it all come down to it, these people were not going to stand up for the relationship. One woman I kicked out of the house. She wanted to continue the marriage with her living in a unit and me living in the house, and I've gone, no, come on. You've just ruined the relationship, the whole marriage. No, let her go. The next woman, her son and her were, well, they may as well have been married. Just go and get married and get it over and done with. Just a joke. No, got out of that. And it leaves you scratching your head wondering what on earth is going out there. One thing I can tell you is the single mothers, they're not cutting it. They're surrogating their children as a means of therapy for themselves, and they're abusing these children emotionally and mentally by doing that. They're making them little husbands and little wives, and they're becoming the wife and the husband of their children. And instead of getting professional help and professional therapy, they're setting up little medical centers in their homes where they're using the prescribed drug of choice or several drugs of choice, alcohol, etc. And then these dysfunctional people go out into the society and expect people to work in with their enmeshments and emotional incest and all their dysfunctions like nothing's wrong. It's vile, it's horrible, it's continual. You can't break it because it's DNA. these people are serially codependent on each other. They make out they're not, but they are. If you don't believe me, hang around long enough and watch the psychological and narcissistic collapse, either by the mother or the child or both. They really shouldn't be in relationships. I know that sounds a bit hard, but they're really only looking for supply. So if they can find someone that they're prepared to just share themselves with intermittently, well, good luck to them. But not many people are going to buy into that unless they're absolutely desperate, which isn't uncommon. There's so many desperates out there now, it's not funny. And these people will treat you like a desperate. I mean, you're trying not to tell them that you want to split up. You're trying everything you can. I don't want to split up, but if you don't sort your behaviour out, your negligence out, and they don't. they just wing it until you tell them to go. And the funny part about it, this is the part that always got to me. You'll wait months and months for a resolve between them and a family member, and the attack on the relationship, or the assault on the relationship, the vandalism. Months and months, right? And they fart ass around because they've given too much authority to their infantile children. And then they'll go in 5 minutes, which tells you, so you're probably better off telling them to go. As soon as you get an inkling that something's wrong, right, that things ain't right, this person's hiding behind Cyril or whatever they call these people, Jupiter, I don't know, there's all different names, Saturn, who knows. As soon as you see any signs of shielding or enmeshment by these people with their children, you've just got to go, because there's no solution to it. There's no answer for it. It just doesn't work out. And you'll just be wasting your time, which, as far as I'm concerned, is too valuable to waste, particularly when you get to my age. You just haven't got time to waste. I don't think anybody's got time to waste. But that's the one thing about NPD, or narcissistic personality disorder, these other borderlines and other disorders. They will waste your time because you're managing somebody that's not capable. A lot of them have got opposite directional dysfunction disorder. Underneath, they're just going in the opposite direction to you when they should be going in the same direction as you. And this just goes on and on and on and on. And you can't, there's not much you can do about it except leave. If you put up with it, you're going to experience severe negligence and emotional abuse yourself, because you'll be emotionally starved to a point. And as they disintegrate under their issues, because they won't resolve them, so they start to disintegrate, and you're just watching all this. Oh God, it's a joke. It's diabolical how it works. You're just watching all this. These people just wrecking themselves and everything around them. There's not much you can do once you've been entangled, because these people will entangle you. They'll drive you to the point where you'll tell them to go. They just will. And you've wasted all that time. They don't know how to... See, if somebody doesn't resolve something, that means they don't know how to resolve. Or they blatantly just don't want to resolve that particular issue. You're dealing with a stubborn, arrogant, ignorant person towards a relationship. They're not interested in holding it. And you got to be savage, right? I've listened to stories of women that have stayed with people for 10, 20 years and ended up with nothing except lost time, and they wish they could get their time back. The same with men. These women just deteriorate and change. And so you've got to be very particular about who you involve yourself with. And you've got to look at their family, and you've got to look at their children, how deep into the life of these people are. Is it healthy? Is it a healthy parent-child relationship, adult-child relationship? Or is it enmeshed? Because if it's enmeshed, these adult children have been surrogated by the mother, and there will be a psychological narcissistic collapse. There will. And that'll be aimed at you, and you will not be able to come out of it with any degree of sanity. It can cause you all sorts of trauma yourself, and you don't want that. So as you identify things and start to see them and there's no correction, you immediately start to detach, start to get therapy. You can let the person know you're detaching or something, I don't know, that's up to you. And you find your way out of that relationship and move on, let them find someone that's going to suit them as well. Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, Theologist, New South Wales, Australia. Bye for now.